to episode 8 of A Tuesday Jew. Tonight, I want to talk about something people feel every day, especially in the middle of a long week, but do not always know how to say. People are tired of being treated like a number at work, a number online, and a number in the dating world, a number in somebody else's sales funnel, a number on a spreadsheet. Everybody is tracking something, measuring something, optimizing something, scoring something, and in the middle of it all, people are forgetting how to be people. We're going to dive deep into how you can protect your integrity, stay true to your values, and maintain your spiritual fire, even when you're stuck grinding inside a hyper transactional market. That is the world we are living in. I'm not here to tell you that work is bad, business is bad, technology is bad, or selling is bad. That is not the point. We have to work, we have to make a living, we have to build, create, provide, and make things happen. But we cannot let a fast, cold, transactional world decide what we are worth. We have to learn how to live in this world without letting its coldness get inside us. By the middle of the week, people are already feeling it. They feel the inbox is full, the phone has not stopped, you got ignored, you got rejected, you lost a sale, you received a strange message from your boss, you saw something online that made you feel behind, you saw somebody else getting married, buying a house, getting promoted, or living a picture perfect life on social media. And suddenly, you are sitting there asking yourself, what am I doing wrong? But listen carefully, you're not a failure because somebody did not answer your email. You're not a failure because somebody said no. You are not a failure because your life does not look like somebody else's edited highlight reel. You're a neshama. You are created by the Abishter with a purpose. No quota, paycheck, rejection, or online metric gets to take that away from you. Let's be real. The world sped up. It has been speeding up for decades, but now it can feel out of control. Instant news, instant messages, instant opinions, instant judgment. Everybody has a phone in their hand, access to everything, and an opinion about everything. The result is that people have started confusing speed with depth. The confused visibility with worth, the confused networking with friendship, the confused and instant reply with an actual relationship. They confuse being busy with being alive. And at some point, we have to stop and say, hold on a second. I'm not against progress. I'm not against technology. I'm not against building a career, but I am against losing my soul in the process. What is the point of having all the information in the world if you cannot sit quietly for 5 minutes and hear yourself think? What is the point of having hundreds of contacts if you do not know who you can call when life gets hard? What is the point of being connected to everything if you are disconnected from the Abishter, disconnected from your family, and disconnected from your own lev, your own heart? That is the problem. People are tired of image. They are tired of comparison. They are tired of being sold a life that looks like shiny on a screen, but feels empty in real life. They are tired of people acting if everything is fine when everybody knows that it is not. People want something real. They want life with depth. They want words that do not sound like a sales pitch. They want values. They still mean something when the phone is off and the room is quiet. Now let's talk about the corporate world for a minute. There are good people in corporations. There are good managers. There are ethical businesses. There are people doing their best to treat others properly. But systems can get cold. A system can start seeing people mainly as productivity, risk, quotas, prospects, headcounts, or number on a dashboard. That is where we have to be careful. You can work in that world without becoming that world. You can be a professional without being cold. You can be efficient without being cruel. And you can build a business without treating people as they were disposable. You can be ambitious without becoming spiritually empty. When you talk to a customer, follow up with somebody, try to make a deal, look for a job, or walk into a networking event, the question is not only, can this person help me? The question is, can I treat this person like a person? Can I leave them feeling respected? Can I be honest? Can I be useful? Can I do business and still remain a mensch? That is what I mean by a warm lead. In the business world, a warm lead is somebody who might respond, buy or be open to hearing what you have to say. Fine, that is business, but a warm lead is first a human being. A person with worries, a person with bills, a person with family responsibilities, a person with hopes, a person with a life that is not a spreadsheet, and a spreadsheet cannot measure a person's life. A warm lead is not a target. It is an opportunity to show that you can do business and still care about people. Real care is not only a nice phrase for a speech, it is how you answer an email, it is how you return a call, it is how you handle rejection, it is how you speak to a worker, it is how you speak to a customer, it is how you talk about someone when they are not in the room. That is where life of a Torah becomes real, not only in the base medrash, but in the middle of the weekday market, the office, the stress, the decisions nobody sees. The world gives us two bad options. One is blind compliance. Do what you are told. Say what people want to hear. Never ask questions. Never think too deeply. Just fit in. Just keep your head down. Just become part of the machine. And the other is cynicism. Everything is fake. Everybody's fake. Nothing matters. So forget the whole thing. We need neither one. We need sincerity, real sincerity. We need to think. We need to ask honest questions. We need to take halacha seriously, take Masorah seriously, and refuse to let the Eilam Hasheker, the world of falsehood, define what is true inside of us. That means being able to say, I will not lie just to close a deal. I will not destroy myself because somebody said no. I will not turn another person into an object. I will not let an algorithm tell me what I should value. I will not confuse online noise with truth. That is not rebellion for its own sake. It is not being difficult. It is protecting the soul, the neshama. This is where Musar becomes practical. You have to build a wall inside yourself, not a wall that makes you cold, not a wall that keeps everything out, a wall that keeps the coldness of the world from moving into your heart. A missed sale does not decide who you are. A bad meeting does not decide who you are. A difficult boss does not decide who you are. A shidduch disappointment does not decide who you are. A social media post does not decide who you are. Somebody else's success does not decide who you are. The Eibishter decides who you are. You are a neshama. You have a purpose. You have a responsibility. You have the ability to do good even with the day did not go your way. A job is a vessel. It matters, we need it, but it is not your identity. Money is necessary, but it is not your identity. Approval feels good, but it is not your identity. Your identity has to be deeper than the outcome. That is bitachon. That is emuna. You work hard, you make calls, you show up, you take responsibility, you do your best, but you do not worship the result. You do not collapse when the result is not what you wanted. You learn, you adjust, you daven, you keep going. Leave the outcome in the hands of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. That is strength. There is another side to this. If all you build is the wall, and you can become hard, and that is not the goal. The goal is to have boundaries and still have warmth, to have standards and still be kind, to take your commitments seriously and still smile, to be strong without becoming cold. Bring that warmth into the office. Bring that into a sales call. Bring that into a job interview. Bring it into a network event. Bring it into a family table. Bring it into the shul hallway. Bring it into a group chat. And bring it into the dating conversation. Ask yourself, can I leave this interaction with more humanity than I entered with? Can I make the person in front of me feel seen? Can I listen before I respond? Can I become clear without being harsh? Can I be honest without humiliating somebody? We do not need more polished people. We need more warm people. We need people who can make another person feel that they matter. And that is part that gets serious. Because every day, in small ways, you are being asked to trade something real for something easy. Trade honesty for the quicker sale. Trade patience for the sharper response. Trade your attention for another hour of scrolling. Trade your values for little approval. Trade your peace for the need to keep up. Nobody announces it that way. There is no alarm that goes off. It happens quietly. It happens when you are tired. It happens when you are embarrassed. It happens when you feel left behind. It feels when you think nobody's watching. That is why this is not just a conversation about business or technology. It is a conversation about who you become when life puts pressure on you. Anybody can be warm when everything is going well. Anybody can be honest when there is nothing to lose. Anybody can speak about values when the room agrees with them. The test is what happens when you are frustrated, when you are hungry for a win, when your ego is bruised, when somebody overlooks you, and when you feel like the whole world is moving and you're standing still. That is the moment. That is when you decide whether the pressure will make you smaller or make you deeper. And maybe that is what people need to hear tonight. You don't need to win every room. You do not need to answer every voice. And you do not need to prove yourself to everyone who misunderstands you. You need to stay awake. You need to guard what the Abishter placed inside of you. Do not hand over your peace to a stranger's opinion. Do not hand over your self respect to an outcome that was never fully in your control. And do not stand over your heart to a world that profits when you feel insecure. Slow down enough to remember who is running the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not surprised by the door that closed. He is not confused by the delay, and he is not missing from the part of the story that does not make sense yet. Your story, your story is to stay clean inside. Keep showing up. Keep doing the right thing. Keep your word. Keep your heart open. And do not let disappointment turn into somebody you never wanted to become. And this is where simplicity becomes resistance. The world keeps selling us complexity, more devices, more subscriptions, more opinions, more anxiety, and more self branding, more fear that we are behind, more noise. And at some point, we have to say enough. Let's go back to the basics. Daven a little more slowly. Learn a few more lines every day. Learn Hasidus. Learn Musar. Go back to the real school of Hasidus, the real school of Musar, the way it was in Europe. Turn the phones off for a while. Eat with family without scrolling. Call somebody who is lonely. Be honest in business. Take Shabbos seriously. Pick up a sefer. Go for a walk without needing to post it. Remember, the Abishter is closer than the screen is. Simple does not mean unintelligent. Simple means you know what matters. Simple means you are not letting the world sell you 1,000 things when your soul is asking for one thing: connection. Connection to the Abishter, connection to Torah, connection to family, connection to real people. That is what keeps a person alive in the middle of the week. So that is the message tonight. You do not have to become cold because the world is cold. You do not have to become fake because the market is fake. You do not have to become a machine because everybody around you is acting like one. Build the wall inside. Keep the heart warm. Stay simple. Stay honest. Learn a little. Daven a little. Get close to the Rebbe. Get close to a Rebbe. Get close to your Rebbe, your Rosh Hashiva, your Rosh Kollel. Get close. Because Torah, Hasidus, Musar, anything you are learning is real. That is real. And stay away from the loudness of the world. Call somebody back. Treat people like people. Every person in front of you carries a whole world inside them. Treat them that way. And when the noise gets loud, remember, you do not have to carry the whole world on your shoulders. Do the work in front of you. Do it with honesty. Do it with warmth. Then the rest is in the hands of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is how we get through the grind without losing ourselves. And that is ordinary work. And that is how ordinary work becomes Avodah. And Avodah is Hashem. Thank you so much and have a good evening. And I look forward to presenting to you this week Parsha Shoftim as well on Friday. Take care.